These past few months, we've been getting the same question again and again. What should you buy now that the Winix 5502 is gone? A lot of you pointed to its bigger brother, the Winix 9800, also sold in Costco as the C909. But is it a worthy successor or just a bigger, boxier Winix? We bought one and put it through the entire House Fresh testing gauntlet. Check out our video if you want to know more. Now, if you're in a hurry and don't want to sit through my full review, here are the 2 things I don't like about the Winix 9800 and 4 things I kind of love. What I don't like. When set to auto mode, the light sensor automatically switches to sleep mode when it's dark. The Winix app is fairly basic with a lack of extra features that we see from other brands. What I really like, it offers incredible top speed performance. It has some of the cheapest annual running costs due to its very cheap proprietary filter from Winix. The removable pre-filter makes it easy to keep on top of keeping it clean and is a big plus, especially for those with pets at home. Even at top speed, the Winix 9800 runs quieter than the high-performing Levoit Core 600S. Okay, let's jump into the full review. The Winix 9800 looks like a chunkier version of the popular 5500 too. Even though it's heavy at 7.2 kilograms or 17.2 pounds, it has a generous handle in the middle that makes it easy to move around the house and up and down the stairs. Design-wise, the 9800 has a silver cover with a black chassis and does have a more modern look than the older 5500 too. It gives me similar vibes to the Winix T810. Like many other rectangular air purifiers, the 9800 has a pre-filter that is easy to remove and clean without having access to the main filters. This feature is great for those with heavy levels of larger particles such as cat or dog owners. The 9800 has an auto mode powered by a gas sensor at the top of the device. Gas sensors only detect changes in VOCs and gases, but they also have the benefit of not having to keep them clean like you would do with a dust optical sensor. As it is a gas sensor, it will kick in for those pollutants, but we'll have a harder time with particle-only pollution such as pollen in the air. But for a kitchen, I do find that the gas sensor often kicks in quicker than a particle optical sensor, as the gases are often fastest to spread around the room. I still would have liked to have seen Winix use a laser sensor, but I expect they stuck to just a gas sensor to keep prices lower. Like the older 5500 too, there is an LED at the front of the device, and that will change based on the air quality from red, poor, amber, fair, and blue, good. However, be aware, as it's a gas sensor, it does take 4 minutes initially to detect the level of air quality in your room. Let me give you a quick tour of the options on the control panel. Next to the light, we have the power button. To the left of the power button is the smart sensor that detects the level of gas in the air. Right of the power button, we have the fan speed buttons that will allow you to cycle between auto, low, medium, high, and turbo and sleep mode. You can also disable the plasma wave function by holding both fan speed buttons for 3 seconds. Next to the fan speed buttons, we have the Wi-Fi button that you use when you first connect the smart app, or if you want to change the Wi-Fi. Above the control panel, we have a display for showing the mode and fan speed, a filter replacement indicator light, and finally a light to show it's connected to the Wi-Fi. Like what we saw with the Winix 5510, you will need a Wi-Fi with a 2.4 GHz range to connect to the Winix app. The app has a 4.1 out of 5 on the Android store and 4.6 out of 5 on the Apple store. I installed the app on my iPhone without any issues. The Winix Smart app connected pretty easily and does the basics well, and it lets you control the unit remotely and set schedules. However, if we compare it to the feature-rich apps from competitors like Levoit and Xiaomi, the Winix app does feel more like a simple remote control. You won't find advanced air quality tracking or detailed historical data here. It's functional, but it doesn't stand out when compared to other apps from other air purifier brands. There is one feature that some customers love and others hate. The 9800 has a light sensor that when it detects darkness, it will automatically switch to sleep mode from auto mode. When testing different sleep modes, the CADR for many devices drops a lot, even when the sensor might detect pollutants. If you set it manually to a specific fan speed, you can keep it running at night, but the light will be switched on, which is a little annoying. If Winix is watching this, please find a way to either disable this feature or allow us to switch the lights off from the app when running on manual. So that's the design and the features. We're about to get into the really important stuff, our performance data. If you're finding this breakdown useful, now would be a great time to like and subscribe. It's a huge help to our channel and ensures you won't miss our future reviews. In terms of filtration, the Winix 9800 uses the Type A filters from Winix, which are used in many other models, including the 5302, 0 and C535. Winix states that the particle filters is true HEPA and the carbon filter is the impregnated fabric kind. The filters are unbonded, which means you can use it with just the true HEPA if you want, and you don't have to throw the entire filter away if just the carbon element runs out, which is usually much quicker than the particle filter. One thing that Winix mentioned to me when I asked them about the type H filters that use the pelleted carbon is whilst they're not flush due to the pre-filter design, it can fit inside the body. In a future video, I'll try to see if I can get the type H filters with the pelleted carbon inside my 9800, as I think this is something that a lot of people will also want to do. Okay, let's see how this thing actually performs. Whilst there's not a CADR test for the 9800 model on the Energy Star database, there is a result for the Costco 909 version. The CADR results in Winix marketing for both models match, so we can safely assume that they have the same internals and performance. Based on this certificate, the 9800 has a dust CADR of 335 CFM at top speed. But be aware, this doesn't account for sound or performance at other fan speeds. That is why we ran our own CADR tests. We tested it in the same 728 cubic feet test room where we've tested over 100 air purifiers. According to our Purple Air Zen sensor, the 9800 at max speed needed 18 minutes to clear our test room of all PM1 particles. Based on the natural ventilation of our test room, we estimate a PM1 CADR of 333 CFM. This means that it's suitable for 5 air changes per hour and rooms up to 499 square feet. These top speed results do match up with the AM CADR result we saw on the Energy Star database. The 9800 is more expensive than the 5500 too, but it also offers better particle removal performance. In fact, it outperforms units that cost upwards of $700. But results at top speed won't tell us the full story. We measured how much sound the Winix 9800 generates at each of its 3 fan speeds, and the noise ranges from 36.2 decibels at sleep to 54.3 decibels at full speed. Sound is subjective, so please have a listen for yourself. When comparing sound levels at top speed, the 9800 is the third quietest after the Dyson BPO6 and the Luggable XL7. This means that it's not only faster at cleaning the air than the 5500 too, but it's also quieter. Looking at noise levels at every fan speed, I isolated low as the highest fan speed that generates less than 45 decibels of noise. I then retested the particle removal speed of the 9800 at low, and it took 48 minutes to clean our test room. Based on this result, we estimate a PM1 CADR at low of 123 CFM, which will be powerful enough to provide 5 air changes per hour and spaces up to 184 square feet, whilst generating less than 45 decibels of noise. Now, this is the point at which the 5500 too outperforms the 9800, as its sub 45 decibel performance is better than what you get from the 9800. But overall, the 9800 benchmarks well against other devices on the chart when we account for lower sound levels. That is, if you ignore the incredible power performance of the Luggable XL7 and its sickle flow 120mm fans. As always, I repeated our CADR test at each available fan speed. But let's look at energy consumption to see how much electricity the 9800 pulls to achieve this air cleaning performance. I used our power meter to measure how much energy this device pulls at each fan speed and on standby, and made sure to see how much energy the plasma wave function required as well. Running the Winix 9800 at top speed 24/7 for 1 year will add $51.10 to your energy bill based on the current average US electricity price as of September 2025. As you can see from the table, the Winix 9800 is less power hungry than the older 5500 too, and most of the other devices we benchmarked it against. That said, it doesn't come close to the energy efficiency of the PC fans used in the Luggable XL7, but that was expected. Right, let's look at the other main factor that affects yearly running costs, the filter replacements. According to Winix, you can expect to change the HEPA filters every 12 months and the activated carbon every 3 months. You can buy the A filter from Winix that has 1 HEPA and 4 carbon filters for $27.99. This low cost of filters got me a little worried. Maybe this also means that Winix might have plans to discontinue the 9800 like they did with the 5500 too. So we did something most reviewers don't. We reached out to Winix directly and asked them. they gave us a clear confirmation that they have no plans to discontinue the 9800. This is a crucial piece of information. It means that this incredible value isn't a short-term gimmick. It's a safe long-term investment. So when we add that tiny $27.99 filter cost to the annual energy cost, we get the estimated annual running cost you should budget for. As you can see from the table, the Winix 9800 is one of the cheapest air purifiers to run, even coming close to the PC fan and HVAC combo using the luggable XL7. For the cost of 1 year of running the Dyson BP06, you could run the Winix 9800 for nearly 2.5 years. So let's answer the big question. Is the Winix 9800 a worthy successor to the legendary 5500 II? My answer is a resounding yes. Sure, the 9800 is a little chunkier, so it might not look like a replacement at a glance, but this larger body holds a more powerful fan that matches the performance of much more expensive units like the Allen 75i, but with a much lower annual running cost. The fact that the running costs are in the same ballpark as the PC fan kits like the luggable XL is incredible and a testament to its energy efficiency and low price of the Type A OEM filters from Winix. Of course, the 9800 is not perfect. To get that low price, you're making compromises. The smart app is basic, the gas-only sensor won't react to particle pollutants in the air, and the unit will go on sleep mode automatically when the light sensor detects darkness and you're running it on auto mode. If smart features are your main concern, you'll be better off with models like the Xiaomi Elite or the Levoit Core 600S, as their app and sensors provide a lot more features and data. But for the vast majority of people who just want a powerful, reliable, set and forget it air purifier that won't drain their bank account year after year, the Winix 9800 is a home run. It's a fantastic workhorse, a more than worthy successor to the 5500 II. And if you see it in Costco, the C909, just grab it. As always, if you have any questions, drop them below. And one last thing for you fellow air quality nerds. When I spoke to Winix, they mentioned that their higher end Type H pelleted carbon won't fit this model due to the pre-filter design. But looking at the internals, I'm not so sure. Subscribe if you want to see me try and hack it in a future video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.